So, welcome everyone. And we will this week be talking about one topic which is kind of, one second, which is interesting for everyone. Does not matter what, we all get impacted by this, which is Tri-Doshas. Each one of us may be unique, however, the Tri-Dosha, which is basically how our body functions, body is basic fundamental is Tri-Doshas, whether it is Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. So we will look into that. What are these Tri-Doshas? How do they impact us? What can we do about it? Again, if we understand the big picture, then certainly you can stay away from any medicines, any health issues, whether it is physical, emotional, psychosomatic, doesn't matter. We can really manage our life much better. So what is this concept? This is a concept of Ayurveda. So it's nothing new. We are going thousands of years back. And our, masters, the Rishi Munis, they understood it. They experimented over generations, and they had a very clear understanding. So in a way, like, if I see, I feel that, they had better knowledge then than today because of many reasons. And that's why they were living longer, healthier. So these are basically three energy forces, right, that controls all the activities, be it physical, mental, your intellectual, basically impacting how we function individually. Now, someone may say that, okay, if you have, billions of people on the planet and then only three doshas, so we will look into that because it is not that you have one of the three, but it is always the percentage. It's a mix. It's a combination. It's like a combination number. There is a number lock, and you can have thousands of different possible combinations of number depending on how many digits you have. So here it's again pretty much endless, and all you need to do is you need to understand what your body is telling you. If you understand your doshas, you can work accordingly. So here what happens is we are going close to the nature. If you can have your daily routine linked with the nature. Nature means circadian rhythm, because circadian rhythm is the rhythm of nature. Universe is very systematic thing. It's not like randomly sun is rising or planets are moving or all those. No, they are very systematic. We may have clear understanding or not, that's a separate issue, but the universe law, very systematic. What it gives us in return, if you live your life accordingly, is that you will be healthy, you will be happy, you'll have a balanced life. And then if you are truly fulfilled individual, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, of course, you will be in a blissful state. So blissful state is not something, like a switch you can turn on and off. You'll have to work towards it. So your life is less stressful. You're enjoying whatever you are doing or whatever situation you are in. That's where the blissfulness comes. So you're not fighting. You're not going against the current. That's the whole thing. Now, there are many masters who are really good in decoding, understanding, or explaining what three doshas are. And the more you go to the original text, the better we understand. And that's the whole idea. How can you understand this in a very, simplistic way? So what it does is it is referring to all the governing forces of the universe, right? That's where the doshas, the initial part, the thus is coming from. So though we say the dosha can be regarded as a fault, as a mistake, error against the cosmic rhythm, means if you go against the nature, then you are having that uh, fault or a mistake. And they are kind of in a dynamic situation. So based on how you do, what you do, and when, and all those things, you may be influencing the doshas. There are three doshas: vata, pitta, kapha. So dosha is something which changes. It is the governing mechanism of the universe. You can fix the error, you can fix the mistake, means coming back to the nature. Hence, you can improve the balance of vata, pitta, kapha. These are the three doshas. So as we were talking about, there is a combination. It's not like, okay, my dosha is vata. No, there is always a dominant one, and then there is always, because it's a combination, then there is a sub-dominant one. So it's not that I have only vata, no issue. And the percentage, if you really see, you can simplicity, very simply, you can say that it's 33.3 or one third, one third, one third. Little bit, one may be dominant, means it could be, say, 35%, and other could be 31, 32%. We are not saying one is 80% and other is, just 10 and third one is 10. It's not that kind of difference. The body cannot have that much of a variation. It could be fatal. So the variation is very small, yet the impact on the body is huge. Within 3-4% difference, we get huge impact on our body. And hence it's important. The importance comes from the fact that it has to be balanced, just like the pH in our body. 7.4 means 7.4. If you think my body is acidic doesn't mean your blood pH has dropped from 7.4 to, say, 4 or 3 or 2. No. It's fatal if you are changing in 0.2, 0.3, 0.4% of your blood pH. So body works on a in a very tight range. So what is the combinations and how it is linked? Because they are linked to Panchbhutas. Panchbhutas are the 5 elements of which our bodies are made of. And these proportion of Panchbhutas dictate which you can say that Tri-Dosha is dominant. So you see, Panchbhutas are impacting that which Tri-Doshas, which one of those three is dominant. And how's the combination? Vata is a mix of primarily Vayu, but with Akash. When it comes to Pitta, it's fire and water, and Kapha, you can say water and earth. So you see between the 5, there is a combination. There is an overlap. Like water is available in Pitta and Kapha both, right? But in a way that when you see the primary one, so Vayu in Vata and along with Akash, what mix it gives, and then what mix of Vata and Pitta you have. Accordingly, you will get the impact. So what it does is it will have its own impact from the Panchbhutas. Because it is a mix, and that's where you get the individuality, because everyone may have slightly different proportion. So, just like you have any forces in nature, this is something which is impacting your overall functioning of life. Now, these forces, or these what we call Tri-Doshas, it governs the entire functioning of our body, means different organs, different systems that you have. So what it is doing is You have to see that, okay, uh, like if you have the vata, which is akash plus vayu, the proportion will determine how active the vata is, and the amount of akash uh, impacts the ability to gain momentum, right? Which is the motion to gain momentum. That's where these elements individually they kind of impact. And you can see that if you look at the sea, right? On a calm day, everything looks simple, very calm, little bit waves. But when you have a big storm, you may have a hurricane, you may have a big storm, and that particular day, the sea, the ocean is totally different because now the momentum has totally changed. So if unrestricted, right, the motion can become really huge. It can change from your normal to very high level. So imagine if in your body there is a change in the impact, you will have impact in your day-to-day life on your health. So hence the direct relation with our health condition. Now, Pitta is basically fire and water. This represents transformation. Uh, like heat, which is fire. We all know that because of the heat of the sun, water evaporates in the sea and then it becomes kind of cloud and we get rain. So you see the heat is impacting everything, and in our body as well, it is transformation of kind of state, one thing to the other. Now, when we are talking about this, and transformation means also like you are eating. When you eat, something is raw food is again getting transformed. So that's primarily what is happening in the various, uh, ways you can see, but primarily the transformation part. Now, the kapha is water and earth, and this is kind of, uh, water representing kind of lubrication, like keep the thing moving. We all know, like if there is a water, sometimes we slip and fall. Why? Oh, there was some water on the floor. It just kind of help and lubricating. It means that the way we go. So, the structure, the lubrication, the way all the planets are rotating in their own orbit around the sun. So if there is a little bit disturbance, it can really cause a big devastation, big destruction. Imagine like this is millions of kilometers distance from one planet to the other, from the sun, and they are moving in their orbit. A little bit deviation here and there, how much destruction it can cause. Yet, as I said before, universe follows a particular, rules. And those rules are really, you can see, you can observe, you can, they're discipline kind of things. And that's where we are coming. Can we go close to the nature or not? Now, a person may have vata as a dominant force. Someone may have pitta and someone may have kapha. And then you can say, okay, my dominant in vata, but the second one is pitta or second one is kapha. Now, does it matter? Well, it does. And what it does is, because if, say, vata is the dominant one for you, then it has the maximum impact or maximum number of disturbances it can cause, roughly 80. Whereas pitta, if that is the main one causing you disturbances, it has primarily about 40, whereas kapha has only 20. So kapha may be a dominating one, and you will say, okay, I can have one of those 20 issues, whereas vata can have one of the 80. That means vata may have more impact. So depending on what you have, depending on how it is, you go from that, okay, how I gonna treat, how I gonna fix, or how I gonna balance it. So vata has certainly the most impact on our body. Now, when we look into the dominance part, there are three gunas. So there is Rajas. Rajas is dominant in Vata. You have Sattva, which is dominant in Pitta, and Tamas, which is dominant in Kapha. So you see these mechanisms, these different forces, how they're interacting. It's all in Ayurveda. It's all known for thousands of years. So not only one thing, we talked about Tri-Dosha, how they are linked to Panchbhutas. Now we are saying, okay, you look from the Gunas perspective. So they are all linked. It's not random. It's not like, okay, something we had. And that's why, as a big picture, if we understand, it's easy to manage ourselves, easy to stay healthy. So what happens? What are the primary, uh, functioning main areas of impact? So input or absorption and output or excretion. This is Vata. So basically the Vata is you are eating or you're excreting. So you are having input, it has to be absorbed, and output or excretion. This is basically you can say the area for Vata. Now, when we talk about Pitta, it is transformation. So transformation of input, right? And you are transforming from input to output. How you would see that, okay, I have an input which is coming from Vata side because you have taken, but now you have to transform it. You have eaten the food, but it needs to be transformed. If you will chew it, you will break it down. There's fat, there is a carbohydrate, there is protein, all those kind of different elements of the food has to be separated out. And then body has to make use of it. Now, you have input means eaten something. Transformation means whatever you ate, the body has transformed into, some form based on the ingredients. Now, the third thing is storage. What am I going to do after the transformation? I will either use that energy, those units, for my development, for my activities, or I will store it that I may need it little later. So this becomes your backup, just like your cell phone, right? You have the battery there so that whenever you need, you can use it. Sometimes you carry a backup battery that way. If this one dies, I will connect it. So you have continuous supplies. So same is you ate something, you have to transform it in a way to a state where that energy or that particular output can be used for your body. And now that you have converted it into something, you have to store that energy. So this is how the body functions. Input, process, output between the three of them. Now, this one is the body knows everything. You don't have to tell anything. Do this, do that. Body does automatically, whether you are working, sleeping, active, exercise, or whatever the body is doing. And it's good that the body decides, because certainly body knows better than what we know about the body, right? Now, is this something that only we humans have? No, every animal, every life has this basic function. Of course, different lives may have different ways it is functioning, but this is for us, but it's not like it's only for human beings. It's there in the animal kingdom as well. So what happens here is, after you understand all this, what are the doshas, how they are interlinked, how it is impacting me as an individual. So you see, You have three dhatu, you have three doshas. So, the question still comes that why we need to dig deeper, why we need to understand each one of them. We saw the impact. Vata has the highest one, 18, different ways it can impact you for the issues you may develop. However, you need to understand all three, and once you understand, you can do better for yourself. So, you know, if you see the cause and effect perspective, so the balanced state is called Tridhatu. Dhatu means the root, the foundation of any entity. When the balance is disturbed, which means there is an imbalance now, it clearly means some destruction. What kind of destruction, what level of destruction, that may vary. But if you are out of balance, means it is against you. It means it is not in favor of your health, right? It is deterioration of your health. And once you have the imbalance, you get into these three doshas, different situation depending on the imbalance. So from the root or the foundation of an entity, which is three dhatu, we comes to three dosha. So if kapha could have stomach as a dominant, right? Vata is the large intestine, and pitta is the small intestine. So you see that different organs of the body may have different impact, may have different situation. Depending on their role, it will impact you. So when we are talking about Tridosha, it's really important to understand the circadian rhythm as we talked about before. Circadian rhythm, this is something that is impacting you. This is something that is by the clock. So time of the day is a very crucial factor here, and not that it is different for you and me. The clock goes the same way. Yes, you and me could be in a different time zone, but it doesn't matter for that time zone, for that particular hour, it will have the same impact on any person in that zone. So what it does is, in 24 hours, it's going through all the three dominant, you can say the, doshas. The day is divided into 6 and 4 hour things. So you can say first, like say 12 hours, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., right? You can divide it into that way. And then you can divide it into, the sections, which is 6 and 6, right? So it's 12 hours. So 12 divided into further half, which is 6. And you can have 8, 4 hours, or 3, like, uh, so basically all those 6 will be 4 hour slot, or you can have 12 2 hour slot. So as we go kind of deeper and deeper, you understand how each of these three dosha is activating. For example, when you talk about 6, because we are talking about 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So 6 to 10, the first 4 hours, right, is the kapha. Kapha is increasing. So that's why we say this is the best time to exercise. Sun is at its peak, in the sense sun is out already. And kapha, it does help in your muscular strength and all those things. So if we understand that, yes, this is the impact for this one, I need to do either increase, decrease, what should I do? So after 10 a.m., if you go 10 to 2, means the next 4 hours, then the pitta is increasing. This is the best time to eat your largest meal, 10 to 2. And because, we're talking about the fire, we're talking about how to make use of what you have eaten. That means digestion, and using that for your body, for your development. So that is the strongest in the middle of the day. That's why is best time to eat your biggest meal at that time. Means between 10 and 2. 2 to 6, the next 4 hours, what happens? The vata is increasing. Now, vata is increasing means this is a good time for your mental and, kind of creative energy. The nervous system is more active, and, you carve for snacks kind of thing this time, uh, because the sugar part and other things. So 2 to 6, this is what happened. And this is the time for the mental creativity, but you have to see that it's a balance of, going one by one. And 2 to 6, this is a 4 hour. Then after 6, the next cycle starts, next 12 hours. So 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So now next 4 hours from there, now the kapha goes up, right? And as we saw, we started with kapha 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and now 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So again, the kapha is going up, and this is time to settle down, because 6 to 10 is the time that body is saying, okay, day is getting over, right? And this is the time that cortisol levels should drop, because now active life for the day is over. Now you have to rest. So this is why you get tired around this time, 6 to 10, you feel drowsy, sleepy, and all those things, after having meal and all. Some people may sleep at 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, whatever your particular time is. Then same, next 4 hours, 10 to 2, the pitta increases. This is the time for sleep, because liver, this is the time it has to detox and gets regenerate for the next day's load, right? It has to detox the body. So this is the time when we are resting, the body is detoxing itself. So if you are, sometimes the students, they think, oh, I will study late in the night. I'm studying till 12 or 1 o'clock. So what's happening? 10 to 2 is your detox time. Most important part. Liver is working hard, but you are working, you're not sleeping, you're not resting. So what will happen? You are disturbing this digestive or detox part. And then we say, oh, I'm falling sick, very frequently, cough, cold, or different type of illnesses, because we are disturbing the circadian rhythm. Okay. Then 2 to 6, again, 4 hours, like before, the vata is increasing. 2 to 6 is again the nervous system activation. That means this is a very good time to do your pranayam, meditation, and all those things. So this is certainly a time for deep sleep, means 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But as you're getting into 4, 5, 6, that the later part of this 4 hour window, this is the time to wake up and before the sunrise, do your sadhana, do your pranayama, meditation, yoga, whatever you do, because it will give you the most benefit. Now it comes to what is individually vata, what exactly it does, how to fix it, what can I eat, what can I do in terms of pranayama or other thing, that we will see in our next episode. One by one, we will take all the three. So vata, pitta, and kapha. So this is something which is for today's session.